When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your
Hello, everybody. This is Ray Renati, and you've reached Green Room on Air. This is my podcast, and you are here. I hope you're a regular listener. If you are, you know that I've run a few repeats the last couple of weeks, and that's because I've been working to make some dough. I've been driving kids around, mostly special needs kids, to school and back because a lot of the schools are open again. Yikes. It was cool, though. It let me get my COVID shots, so I'm all vaccinated up. I can just run wild through the streets with no mask, loving life. I think I'll do that right after this. I'm getting stir crazy. I need my life back. I need theater back. I need to be able to audition for movies and TV and theater. But it ain't happening yet. I did do something, though. I did something on Zoom the other day. We have a company called Shots, and I have done quite a bit with them. It's an online sort of Saturday Night Live kind of sketch comedy stuff. It's a lot of fun. We had about 100 people watching live on the Zoom, but it's not the same. It's not the same as being on stage with real flesh and blood people there out in the audience to interact with, and real flesh and blood people on the stage with you to interact with. But it's better than nothing, so who is to complain? Not me. Not me. I would never complain. I don't complain. Trying to keep my wits about me, as I said. Trying. I watched the part of the George Floyd trial. Well, it's not really the George Floyd trial. I forget the cop's name who killed him, but that was sad. If that guy's not convicted, I'm only going to be an American American citizen in name only from now on. It'll just be a technicality because I think I may lose all faith in this country if that man is not convicted of murder. At least that man, and hopefully the others who helped him. We shall see. We shall see. God help us if they don't convict him. The streets will be ablaze, methinks. So you're listening to this podcast, and guess what? It's a lot of fun, but I need people listening, so I want to tell you a few things. We have a website called Green Room on Air. Just go to greenroomonair.com, and you can see all my past episodes, or you can listen to them on any of your favorite podcasting platforms. You can also go to rayrenati.com, which is where you'll find me and all my stuff. I got to update that website, though. It needs some work. You know, I do websites for people, and then I don't do my own very well. What the hell's with that? It's always like that, right? Anybody out there who's an entrepreneur, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, go there. And also, if you like this podcast, please tell your friends and give me a fair rating anywhere, but especially on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, because that's where it's all happening. Give me a fair rating and a review if you can. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so very, very, very much. Today, our guest is Pablo Rossil. He has 2 albums coming out this month. I think they're all out now. Swingin' with the Mouse, and Swingin' with the Music of Broadway. It's really cool. Swingin' with the Mouse is actually Swingin' with the Mouse Volume 2. And wait a minute. Now, that one's not out yet. That'll be out in a couple months. But Swingin' with Broadway is out now. It's out now. It's really cool. He jazzifies these Broadway songs. And Swingin' with the Mouse is Disney-esque music in a jazz style with some really good musicians and Broadway singers. And I'll put the links so you can listen. We're going to have a sample of it here in the middle of this episode for you to listen to. So that'll be fun. His name is Pablo Rossil, and he has 2 new albums coming out, Swingin' with the Mouse, Volume 2, and Swingin' with the Music of Broadway. Great stuff. We had a lot of fun talking on the Zoom. He's down in Los Angeles. I had a friend once, his sister's name was Maria de los Angeles. That was her middle name, de Los Angeles. And his name was Bob. I kid you not. So his sister's name was Maria de Los Angeles. What's his last name? I forget. It's a Mexican last name. I don't remember what it is. It's Spanish. Hernandez. Her name was Maria de Los Angeles Hernandez, and his name was Bob Hernandez. What was parents thinking? Strange, huh? Strange stuff. Okay. I have been watching some TV, and let me just share a little bit of that with you. What I'm loving right now is this show, Master of None. It's on Netflix. I saw the first season, and I didn't know there was a second season. So I started watching it, and it's really good. It's created by Aziz Ansari. And his second season does things with television that if I had the wherewithal and the money and all that to produce TV, this is how I may do it. He really takes a lot of risks and experiments with each episode in all different ways. For instance, one of my favorite things that he does is in one of the episodes, the third or fourth episode, I'd say a good third of the episode is from the point of view of a deaf woman. So all of a sudden there's no sound, and it's just people doing sign language with hilarious sign language, because it's a comedy, with subtitles. So that's the kind of thing he does. And the first episode in season 2 it was in black and white because it was in a small town in Italy, and you kind of felt like you were watching The Bicycle Thief, the great Italian masterpiece. So, yeah, he does a lot of really cool stuff like that. Aziz, I don't know why I'm not hearing more. I remember earlier in the year there was some bad press about him when people were getting hung out to dry for saying sexist things and stuff. I think I remember something about that with him. I'm not going to even look it up because I don't care. It's a damn good show, Master of None. Check it out. Now, another show that I just finished binge watching, and I can't believe that I did because it's kind of really bad. The show is called Tell Me Your Secrets. It's available on Amazon Prime. You can stream it if you have Amazon Prime. It stars Lily Rabe, who does a really good job, her acting, and Amy Brenneman from the show Judging Amy. Oh, God. How do I explain this? If they had done it as a dark comedy, a la Breaking Bad or something like that, it might have been really good, but they took themselves really seriously. And it turns into this hyper melodramatic trope of a show. And you keep waiting for it to get great. And at moments it seems like it's going to, and then there's some like really bad dialogue or something. And you just go, oh, geez, what am I watching this thing for? But I guess they knew what they were doing because I watched the whole darned season in a few days. So, I can't, who am I to talk? But if you get a chance, check it out. Let me know what you think. Send me an email at greenroomonair@gmail.com or rayrenati@gmail.com. Let me know.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for having me on, man.
Nice to meet you too. Your first album is called "Swinging with the Mouse."
Swinging with the Mouse, Volume 1, yeah.
Yeah, and the Swinging with the Mouse band, and it's a lot of fun. I was listening to it. You have your jazz and your jazz vocal and your jazz music, and it's Disney songs.
Yeah, so the Swinging with the Mouse is it's my cute way of not saying Disney.
Oh, okay.
it's not an official Disney project,
Yeah.
but people get the message,
Yeah,
And the cool thing about it is that I'm fortunate enough to be in a circle where a lot of Disney performers from the movies and Broadway shows are here in LA, and I've hosted a bunch of them as a producer at this venue. So I've gotten to meet a lot of them. And they were very gracious to give me their time and record some Disney songs. And I think that's the cool part about it. It's not just anybody singing Disney jazz. It's Disney artists singing Disney jazz.
Yeah, I saw that. You had some pretty big names there. Now, I don't know them all I don't know their work, but I know that who were some of the people that you had on there with singing?
Right. So I have Garrett Clayton, who was in the Teen Beach movie series, a big Disney Channel series. I have Dee Dee Magno Hall, who was in the Mickey Mouse Club in the 90s, I believe. Courtney Reed, who's the original Jasmine in Aladdin on Broadway. Emma Hunton, who's currently on a Freeform show and has been on Disney projects before. And Keith David, who is the voice of Dr. Facilier, the villain in Princess and the Frog.
Great.
Yeah.
Good. And they're great. They're great singers.
Credits. Yeah, among many other credits. And yeah.
They're great vocalists. I was listening. Very, very good stuff. James Monroe Engelhardt is a friend of mine from.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. I've worked with him a few times here when he lived in the Bay Area. But,
are you in San Francisco? I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually a green screen.
Is it really?
Yeah. I shouldn't tell people that. I mean, I'm spoiling it.
It's amazing. It's fantastic.
Everyone says that. Didn't it look great? I got it on Adobe stock images, but it's just a green screen behind me. Yeah. So, what is your background? You're from Los Angeles area? You went to school down there?
Oh, yes, I did. I got my bachelor's in musical theater. I went to AMDA in LA. They have a New York campus as well, but LA was my place. I was born and raised here.
So what does that stand for? So for the people who don't know.
Sure. The American Musical and Dramatic Academy. And it has some pretty cool alumni. Jesse Tyler Ferguson, Jason Derulo, I believe Christopher Jackson from Hamilton went there. It has a bunch of cool alumni that have come out of there. And
you've done quite a bit of performing yourself.
I have, yeah. Mostly in the LA area. I've done a lot of theater here. About 5 or 6 years ago, I started focusing on cabaret style and jazz style performances, and that's gotten a lot of mileage out of me. I've been fortunate to perform in a bunch of different venues around the country.
Cabaret is great because it's so accessible to people who can sing. You know, you want to perform on Broadway, you got to have friends and be, have the most incredible audition of your life, 4 times in a row. But the great thing about cabaret is you can just go do it.
Yeah, that's sort of what attracted me to doing it, because Broadway and musical theater performance is very out. I mean, there's very good performances. There are very good performances. I'm not gonna, poo-poo it, but it's very outward and very waka waka, if you will. Whereas performing, yeah. Oh, more like Fozzie Bear, but yeah. You're performing for an intimate group, usually for cabarets and concerts of that kind. So it seems a lot more real and grounded to me than performing for 2,000 people. you get to have a connection with a higher percentage of the audience that way.
So much of a different experience, isn't it? Because if you're in a giant venue like that, a lot of people don't realize with the lights and all, usually, depending on how it's set up, but usually you can't see past the second row.
Yeah.
Even though there's 2,000 people out there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's the connection is more and more as time has progressed. I feel like the need has grown deeper for audience and artist connection just in history for performers. It seems as if we're in a place now where that is the only way to do it, or else it doesn't seem good. The stuff that is detached is usually like, oh, that wasn't a good show, or that wasn't a good production. But more than ever, I feel like connection is important. Pre-COVID, I guess now it's even more important than that.
Yeah, and I think when hopefully we get back to having live performances all over, I think it's going to be very important. Now, I don't know what it's going to look like. I hope that they're going to be able to fill up the seats, but if they're not, there's going to have to be a lot of connection just to put some life into the performances.
I mean, yeah, it's interesting because we're dealing with a bunch of things, not only our necessity as performers or the audience's necessity for entertainment, but there's also legislation that stops us from doing things maybe because we're 50 people over the capacity limit, or, I don't know how it is in the Bay Area, but in LA, theater isn't even on the reopening plan.
No, same here.
Live venues they have movie theaters, they have museums, they have everything else, but theaters are not in the talks, which it makes me really sad. And considering that we just had a big win with that $15 billion part of that bill passed in, was it December, January?
Yeah.
For live arts and for venues, that was a win. And it's sad to see that we're still not in the picture.
It is. I mean, most people don't put a lot of value on live theater on the West Coast.
Right.
Not like in New York and other cities out there.
Right.
Although I have to say, San Francisco is a huge theater area. San Francisco Bay Area. There's like 350 theaters here.
Right. I mean, you guys are also a pre-Broadway location, right?
Yeah. Theater Works, Berkeley Rep, ACT, especially Theater Works in Palo Alto here.
Right.
They've been the tryout and development company for quite a few Broadway and off-Broadway shows. And Memphis started here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. So and other shows too.
We have La Jolla tucked away a couple miles down, but that's about
Playhouse,
it. Yeah. Even like the respected Pasadena Playhouse doesn't send anything to Broadway. It's not that kind of town here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And in fact, Memphis went from Theater Works to La Jolla.
Yeah.
I know. Because television and film reign down there.
Sure.
There's not a lot of room for everything, I guess. And also, I've heard that sometimes performers, if they're in a show down there and they get a series or TV series or something, they'll just leave. And they got someone that's to walk on with the script or whatever. Right. Now, I can understand that. I mean, as we all know, theater doesn't pay very well, even if you're in the union.
Right.
And if you get a TV series or a pilot, it might be your career-making move. So how you can't justify staying in the show.
Right. No, obviously that's a very, the town doesn't support a career out here for theater. And that's in part why I'm an LA baby. I tried New York for a year. It wasn't really for me as much as I love the city. But you can't really make a living out here on theater unless you're at the Amundsen hawking tickets. Like there is no life for performers out here. Maybe the top 5%, which are all transplants from New York that are retiring into different cities, and that's usually the people that have a living. But it's not really. Yeah, it's a filming town, as you put it.
Yeah, and it's the same here, even though this is more of a theater town. I mean, I would say there are a handful of people who make a living, and it's not a good one.
Right.
The ones who do make a decent one are also involved in the production, perhaps. Sure. Like if you're at a big theater company and you're the artistic director or you have some other position and you act and you direct, then that's a good deal. But that has to be in one of the bigger companies because the other ones aren't going to be able to pay you much anyway. So
Right.
you have to do it for the love. Got to do it for the love. Let's take a little break and listen to one of the tunes from Pablo's album, Swingin' with the Music of Broadway, Volume 1. The tune is the classic If I Loved You. It's sung by Brittany Johnson. Brittany Johnson made history as the first Black woman to play Glinda in the musical Wicked. She sounds like a good candidate for a chat on the Green Room. Okay, let's listen to Brittany sing If I Loved You.
If I loved you, time and again I would try to say all I'd want you to know. If I loved you, words wouldn't come in an easy way. Round in the circles I'd go, longing to tell you, but afraid and shy.
But hopefully. So how does it work with Spotify now and the other companies? So you'll have your new albums out. Can you tell us the names of them again so people hear?
Sure. So the name of the series is Swingin' with the Music series, right? When we would do this live, I'd have different themes: swinging with the music of the Beatles, swinging with the music of Sarah Bareilles, swinging with the music of Andrew Lloyd Webber. A bunch of It's a plug and play kind of series. So the next album is called Swingin' with the Music of Broadway, and that will obviously feature a bunch of Broadway performers singing Broadway songs. And after that, Swingin' with the Mouse, which is, again, my coy way of saying Disney, is a Disney album coming out later in the year.
And how did you pick the songs? Do you know what songs are going to be on the new album yet?
I mean, I do. I know I've solidified the Broadway one because we're mostly done recording it. Earlier today, I was actually recording with a Tony winner, who I can't share who it is just yet. When does this air? When do we air?
The week after next.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a Tony winner that graciously agreed to performing on the album, and the song choices come sometimes from the performer, but mostly I try to vary it up. If you listen to the original Disney Swingin' with the Mouse album, you'll notice that there are songs from the 90s, songs from the 60s, songs from Broadway, from the theme park. I try to sort of represent whatever I'm honoring in our special way as a whole. I'm if I'm going to do Broadway, I'm not just going to do all Andrew Lloyd Webber. There is some Hamilton in there. There is some Rodgers and Hammerstein. There is some Sondheim. So we mix it up. It's, I think, the best way to put it.
And it's all jazzified.
Oh, swingy jazzified, yeah.
Swingy jazzified. Great. And you can't tell us who the Tony winner is.
I can't. Okay, it's Marissa Jarrett Winokur, who originated Tracy Turnblad.
Oh, she's great.
She's fantastic.
I saw her do that. Yeah.
Oh, you saw her in Hairspray?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That would have been great. I got into theater way too late. I got into theater like almost 10 years ago. But it was too late in my life for me to have known that.
Well, you're probably way younger than me anyway. You're probably like kid.
I mean, what was it? 2002? When was Hairspray?
Yeah, like around there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could have been at that age where you start getting curious about theater, but I was too late.
How did you fall in love with the theater? Assuming that you have.
I hate it. Why would you ask that? No, I started off as a trumpet major in college, and I was way into Glee. I don't know why I was into Glee. I mean, at the time it seemed right, but looking back,
Glee, the TV show.
Yeah. I was a little Gleek, as they call them.
Yes.
So I went to audition for season 2 of the reality series in New York. It was called the Glee Project, and they pick people to be on the show. And I went to audition, and it was my first time ever in New York. And I was like, I'm in town. I'll be here for a week. I'll watch as many shows as I can. I think I saw 8 shows in 6 days or something like that. And the bug bit. I came back home. I was like, what school do I go to? How do I figure this out? I want to do that. And I went to AMDA. I, did my rounds of theater here in LA. And then I sort of found a middle ground between my old love and my new love. And that's sort of where I'm at today.
Great story. I mean, going to Broadway shows in New York, if you're of the ilk of loving that sort of performance, once you see that, it's just hard to get it out of your mind. So magical. I mean, for me, and probably for you. Yeah.
No. I'm not done. I feel like every single time I go to a show, I try to find the good. I even if it's a production that I don't agree with, I try to find the good. And I feel like ever since I got back from New York, of the good shows that I would go see, or the shows that my opinion is that they're good. There are so many that just like bop me in the head to remind me it's a valid form of art. Theater is a fantastic form of art. The one that, a couple that come to mind are like Scottsboro Boys, which I saw at the Amundsen, and Danny Burstein, and everybody in Follies, but Danny Burstein and Jane Howdyshell in Follies. I don't know if you were able to see that.
Yes, I saw it. I saw it with Bernadette Peters and Jan. She passed away. Oh, and Danny Burstein, unbelievable. Yeah. In the second act, when he's what's the song with the fan? It's like a dream. His dancing.
Oh yeah, the Follies. Yeah,
right at the beginning of the second act. I forget the name of it, but that was amazing.
Dreamland. Yeah. The finale with the four different acts, right?
Yes.
I think.
Yes. Yeah, he was great.
I saw him. I saw the whole original cast except for Bernadette. She didn't come to LA. I had Victoria Clark, which fantastic.
Yeah. That was a great show.
I stood behind her at a taco stand. Yeah, she's great.
Oh, you stood behind her in the taco stand?
Yeah, there's a little taco stand right outside the Amundsen. I'm not kidding. And she ordered her tacos, and I ordered my tacos, and we went about our way. And then that same night, I was like, "Oh, you were at the taco stand," and she was the lead of the show.
I love it. Was she really down to earth type of person?
Yeah, she was very sweet, and if you're of that caliber, I'd hope you are, because I'm sure she was bombarded, not just by me. But she seems to be the kind of person that welcomes.
Well, I find that Broadway actors are usually really, really down to earth and nice, and
I think
they don't usually walk around with that star thing.
Right, the stage door really humbles a lot of people, and I think that fortunately we have that. Hopefully, we still do after in the next couple months, but. Connection. The connection is very important, and that's just the way to put a bow on the evening.
Yes. So I have a similar story with Jan Maxwell.
Please.
Yeah. So I saw Follies in New York, and then I was having lunch at the Five Napkins, I think.
Sure.
With a friend of mine, the burger place. We were sitting outside, and it was about it was about 1:20, and I was telling my friend who had been in some shows without here. She moved to New York. I was telling her how awesome Jan Maxwell was, because she was in Follies. She was just amazing. And I said she was just like 110%, and you could tell she was just tortured by her husband's affair and all. And I was like, and then I'm talking to her, and here she comes, like walking right at me on the street, and I'm talking, and then I looked up and I go, oh my God, there she is. And she saw me, like Jan saw me do that and heard me and looked terrified, right? She probably thought I was insane or something. And then I said,
Right.
I'm sorry. I was just telling my friend how great you were in the show yesterday. She goes, oh, thank you. And then she rushed off because I realized the show was at 2 and it was like, she had like 5 minutes to get to this 30-minute call, so.
Right. Yeah. Grabbing a bite real quick.
Yeah, she wasn't eating. She was just walking down the road trying to, it was just down the next street down, She was just trying to get to the theater.
I thought she like bumped into you at a table or something.
No, I was eating and she was, because those tables are right on the sidewalk, and she was walking at me and I thought, oh my God, there she is. And she just looked like she was terrified.
Deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's funny that you had a similar experience. Well, you didn't scare her, but you met her. Who was it? It was the Bernadette Peters part here.
Victoria Clark.
Oh, Victoria Clark. Okay, great. Yeah.
That's
great. Yeah. And so these albums are coming out later this year in the wintertime. Is that right?
Yeah, well, the Broadway one is coming out in March.
Oh, wonderful.
On World of all days, March 27th.
Oh, great.
And the Swinging with the Mouse is coming out July, August, and summer getting into fall.
So we have into March and July, August. Great. And these will be available on Spotify and for purchase and all of that?
Yeah, they're available digitally at most stores that people use around the world. And for the Broadway album, we're going to print some vinyls, actually.
Oh, wonderful.
Some limited edition vinyls.
And will people be able to get those on your website?
Sure. Yeah. The website's swinginmusic.com.
Okay. I'll put a link in the notes, swinginmusic.com. Make sure that people can get there. And I'm going to get the vinyl. I'm just setting up my old record players here. And I'm really I want to get back. I have so many records.
Sure.
And I'm tired of listening to crappy digital music.
It's the superior way. It truly is. Like that physical, even a CD. Give me a CD above a digital, above playing it off a computer. It's
and I'm telling you, unless you buy these collector CDs that are recorded at super high resolution, the sound is still not as good as on the vinyl, except for the vinyl, you got all the crackling and the dust and everything, which I kind of like. But the quality most of the time is not up to speed. The vinyl, the sound quality, right. I don't think.
Right.
Yeah, but anyway, so that's going to be great. You're going to have a vinyl. You're going to have all kinds of artwork and stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could share this. People know him as, Al Hirschfeld had his era in the on Broadway as an illustrator and artist. I have what I consider to be the person that followed him, Squigs, doing the artwork for the album.
Wow.
Yeah, he does a lot of artwork for the shows that become very publicly admired. So hopefully that connects us to Broadway a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, you've really had some good connections with some great people.
I was very fortunate to have a lot of friends connect me with their friends, or me being a producer at this spot. I've connected with some really cool people. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Pablo, for speaking to me today. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Ray. As did I.
All right. Thanks for making it this far, folks. I love y'all for making it all the way to the end. You're special. So special. Or like Mr. Rogers would say, you're so special. It's a beautiful day in the green room today. Thank you for coming so we could all play. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my green room neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please be my green room neighbor. Goodbye, neighbor. See you next time. And remember, love yourself and stay safe. And until next time, I will see you on the boards.
Carry on and keep moving fast. I pulled off the highway and rolled into town. I'm just fancy free, babe, and I travel round.